So here's my first client. She has really grown out roots, so we're just going to highlight her roots and then tone her with some new liquid demis from Pulp Riot. Here's the finished look. I toned her with 7.0 at the root, and then on the mids and ends I used 911, 22, and clear. I wanted those light pieces to get a little bit silvery and create like a really nice overall blonde look. So here it is. And here's my next client. Here's her before. She's got really grown out roots, so we're gonna work on lightening those up and kind of lightening in the mids and ends a little bit as well, bring up the blonde a bit. So here I start to foil her, and I alternate doing baby lights and a medium-sized weave to give nice dimension. So while I'm highlighting her, I like to pick out the light pieces to make sure that I'm only highlighting what's dark. Although this can be a little bit meticulous when highlighting, it's to ensure that you don't over-process your client's hair. And then here I'm just placing another foil on top of the other foil instead of folding it so that the hair that doesn't lift unevenly. This is important because when you fold the foil on hair that has product on it, it can move the product a little bit and create warm spots. So today I'm going to be using some of the 03 series in the demi line, and these are honestly one of my favorite tones. I love it because it's ashy with a little bit of gold, and it's literally the perfect root shade. So my client wants to be a nice blonde. She wants it a little ashy but wants to see a little bit of warmth, so I'm going to be mixing the 703 for her root, and then on the mids and ends I'm going to mix a 903 with a 92 and an 82. So when I tone the hair, I like to start at the top and then work my way to the back. This way I like the top to be the darkest, and typically I would section out that hairline, but she didn't want her front piece to be that much lighter, so I just went ahead and included that as I applied the toner on the top. One of my favorite things about the new liquid demis is that it's super easy to apply and easy to blend. So for her lighter formula, I like to apply this with a bottle, and as I apply this, I like to brush out the hair so that I can blend out the product a little bit better and make sure that the color is going on evenly. And then I like to go back in and make sure that I applied everything evenly, double checking and reapplying where needed. And here is her after. You can definitely see those bronze tones with slight warmth. Overall looks pretty ashy and neutral, but still some gold in there. Alrighty, moving on to my next client here. She needs a little trim, and her goal is to be a little bit more darker with a little more ash. So for her, I'm going to be using Faction 8 because she wants to do more of an all-over color and wants it to be as permanent as possible. So I'm going to be using their Ash series, and I like to use 7-1 with 6 vol 1-to-1. Here I already applied all of the color all throughout her roots, and now I'm going back in and applying the mids and ends. I like to start in the back, and that back section I like to just take it as one big section and make sure that I'm taking thin sections and applying the product throughout. So this 7-1 is going to darken her base color throughout, and then on the highlighted pieces where she's already blonde is going to create like a nice ashy tone and look almost a little gray in some areas, so like a nice grayish brown. So when this fades, because we use an ash tone, her hair will get lighter as she washes it, but since we use a level 7 and she's already a level 7, this will grow a little bit softer for her. And here is the after. You can see that her base is a lot darker, and those pieces that were already blonde give a nice subtle highlight with the 7-1. And I love using Faction 8 as my permanent hair color line because it leaves the hair super shiny. Here's my next client. We're working on getting her roots lightened up, and then we're gonna lighten up her blonde a bit too because she was wanting to go more of like an opally type of color. I've already told her that we probably won't be able to get her hair super white like that because of how dark she already is and dimensional her balayage is, but our goal is to be somewhat opally. So here I'm highlighting her back-to-back baby lights throughout her entire head, and then making sure to feather at the root as I'm applying her highlight so that there's no harsh lines. And again, I'm being super careful and picking out the pieces that are already blonde so that I don't overlap and overprocess her hair. So once all the highlights were done processing, I began to apply her root toner, and here I used Pulp Riots Silver and Violet Rapid Toners at the root. And here I section out her hairline because I want to tone that last so that I make sure that those pieces are the lightest. Now I'm using a wet brush to brush out the hair and make sure that my sections are clean. While the toner is processing at the root, I like to apply lightener on the mids and ends to brighten up the blonde. And here I'm just feathering up the lightener and blending it out with my hands. So here I've already toned her with Icy Toner 1 to 2, and now I'm going to be applying the colors of the opals. So I used, for my pink formula, Blush and Clear, and then my blue formula I used Nirvana and Clear, and then for my purple formula I used Lilac and Clear. And here I'm just going to be balayaging these pastel tones on the mids and ends to create that nice opalescent look. And here is her after. There you can see the nice opal tones on the ends. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this one. Now for my last client here, we worked on blending her roots and bringing up the blonde. Here I toned her with the Demi formula at the root. I used 603 and 90, and then on the mids and ends I used 91 and 92 with some clear. I am really loving the tones of these new liquid demis. They're a little bit ashier compared to other color lines, but they're great because they're super shiny and give good longevity. These new liquid demis come out August 1st at Salon Centric, and I cannot wait for everyone to try them out and share what they think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and catch me next week for more transformations.